It's one of those rare times you'll see me without a hat. Came out here tonight to cut some dovetails. That was my plan. Get those done. I kind of want to show you all how that happens. But I don't really have the energy for it right now, and I don't know. I'm just not inspired, so I don't want to do it and mess it up. What I do want to talk about is we were discussing this at where I work yesterday, talking about news sources and where I get my information, from, because there's a lot of people at the dispensary where I work who are pretty well informed, and if they're not, they're very interested and curious, and like they want to know where the information is. So I had thought about putting together a list of the different sources that I rely on. I've mentioned it numerous times, that I like independent media. I haven't read a newspaper, watched, no TV really. So CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, whatever's out there. I don't really watch. I watch YouTube, and I get a lot of my information from there, from the independent media sources that aren't beholden to anybody besides subscribers. There's no big conglomerate, no corporation behind them. And I guess there's pluses and minuses to that. And one of the minuses is they have to really fight to get an audience. You can't just flip on the TV and there they are. So I was going to tell you who I like, why I don't. So maybe you'll find them too and find them as useful as I do. The first one, right off the bat, my favorite of the independent media sources is Brian Taylor Cohen, without a doubt. I bought his book. Of course, I didn't bring it in here with me because I wasn't expecting to be doing this. He has this book, Shameless, where he talks about a lot of the political landscape and the media landscape over the last 40, 50 years, my lifetime, to discuss how we can do better. But going back to on his YouTube, he has his own channel where he's just commenting himself. He has his own podcast, No Lie. Came out with a new, almost like a comedy sketchish sort of thing called Another Day. Informative. Talks about what happened yesterday, and in today's realm, that's still a lot. He has a couple of shows that he does with others. Again, my favorite. This isn't all inclusive because he does do other things, but there's three that I really like. Legal Breakdown, which he does with Glenn Kirshner, who has his own YouTube channel, Substack as well. Actually, I think Brian has a Substack too. But Glenn Kirshner is a former attorney, a U.S. attorney, worked in Washington, D.C., 20, 30 years. So he likes to give his opinion on legal matters. So his own channel is also very good. Talks about all the legal happenings of the day. And then he partners with Brian. So Brian and Glenn will get together and have a shorter form than what Glenn does on his own channel. Very similar is Democracy Watch, which is with Brian and Mark Elias, who is a voting rights attorney that went on his own and is very successful. He has his own show as well, and I can't really speak as well of that one because I haven't really watched much of them. I do like it, but I find them a little bit long. So I do like his snippets on with Brian. And then thirdly, and probably my favorite, but they're long videos and they're not frequent, is Class with Jamie Raskin, where Jamie Raskin, Congressman Raskin, and Brian Taylor Cohen will sit down and Jamie Raskin, I guess, I believe he used to be a professor in constitutional law, but he will speak for about 30 minutes on the topic that he is talking about. I believe there's 3 or 4 episodes in phenomenal material. I mean, Jamie Raskin is a national treasure. So that is Brian Taylor Cohen is my favorite of the YouTube independent media sources. Moving on, the Midas Touch Network, probably the biggest of the independent media sources. Actually, they may be the biggest media source. Period. They're getting followers and keep following because they are that good. They have a number of shows under the channel. Started by three brothers, one of whom seems to be doing the most on-camera work. It's Ben Mycelis. Do like him. I like the way that he's a lawyer himself. I like the way that he systematically shows you, what his opinion is and why it is based on videos, documents, news sources. He doesn't say he's a liberal. He's pro-democracy. Not that he's a Democrat, but he's pro-democracy. And if there's good ideas coming from any side, I believe he will independently look at it and give you his opinion based on those facts. That being said, I do find he can be a little one side. Like he throws his opinion in. Granted, I do feel that I agree with a lot of his opinions, and I feel that his opinions are based on fact. He does, if you don't like that, maybe he's not for you, but they all have other people on the channel. A big one, Michael Popak, another lawyer. He does, was a Legal AF, I believe it's called, which is very similar to like Glenn Kirshner, where he uses his experience to talk about legal matters so they can read the legal documents and kind of interpret them for people like you, me, maybe you, but definitely me, who don't understand them otherwise. I have a couple of people that are not native born, Anthony Davis and Francis Maxwell. I do like their programs on there. It gives you kind of a view of a outsider that's here absorbing it all. They have a young man, Adam Mockler, who has his own channel. I don't even know if he's 20 yet. Yeah, but he has a big following under the Midas Touch Network. And trust me, there are probably a dozen other people on the channel or shows on the channel that I have not mentioned. But if you're looking for good information, the Midas Touch Network on YouTube. Another one, quickly becoming one of my favorites to watch, is Jesse Dollemore. He is a very aggressive liberal, and he's not afraid. It is who he is. His videos are pretty short. He handles just one topic, he pinpoints one specific thing and focuses on that. So for those of us who have trouble paying attention, like this one here is so far 8 minutes long, and that's about as long as Jesse Dollemore's videos are. Can be a bit abrasive. I don't agree with everything he says. We don't see eye to eye on some topics, but you know where he stands, and he's willing to listen to you if you want to question him. Pondering Politics. Quite frankly, I don't know the gentleman's name who runs that. I like his voice. It just when he's speaking, his cadence, his rhythm. I do enjoy watching him and his takes. He's kind of a pessimist. Kind of gives you like his opinion on what the facts are, but I do like his show and his content. The videos do get a little bit long. The Lee McGowan, the I Am Politics girl, she's phenomenal. Watching her in her kitchen, I kind of wanted to turn this backspace into her refrigerator. So you're looking over her shoulder and you're seeing what's there. That would be awesome. But she is, I think, a natural born Canadian. She's now an American, because where else in the world can you move somewhere and say, like, I can't go to France. I'll never be French. I'll never be Mexican. I'll never be. But they can come here and be and be American, and that's something I think is pretty cool. But she is a student of politics and civics, and phenomenal resource. She has a podcast that's on YouTube as well as probably other places, but that's where I've seen it. Um, great information. They do get a little bit long. I have trouble. I have trouble with that. Last one I want to mention right now, and I'm not I'm not mentioning them all, but the last one that again that I see the pop-ups come up, I like to watch. Farron Balanced. I think it's a play on fair and balanced, but his name is Farron. But so it's Farron Balanced. Again, very specific, narrow points that he wants to make. Multiple videos a day, and they're fairly short, so they're easy. They're easy to watch, and again, good information with his with his opinion. I know mentioned Jesse Dollimore. I don't always agree with him. I do find that the Farron, I agree with him on a lot of other points, so maybe a little bit more readily. But those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, six different independent media outlets that I like. I highly recommend, if you're watching this and you like what I have to say, check them out too. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll get out here and actually cut the dovetails. Until then.